Facebook. 1, 2, 3. Just waiting on YouTube. There we go. All right. So we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Anybody that's here, or if you're coming on the replay, we would appreciate it if you could please share to at least one page so we can stay above these algorithms that we fight with every day. Don't get me wrong, we're very thankful to have the Facebook and YouTube and Zoom to go live on. Anyway, we've got a really cool show. This is our third show of the day. We had an incredible show with Donna Owens prior to this one. This one is somebody a lot of people know, Melina Ferguson, who's been out there doing it for quite some time, has a lot of respect in the community. I'm going to put on our intro and allow people time to come in, and then we'll bring her up here and get to know her a little bit. Be right back. What's happening, everybody? Lots of powerful energy is coming down, moving around, however you want to describe it, but it's definitely happening. And one of the things that's happening that's very, very exciting is many divine feminine who have been in the background, low profile, subtle, quiet, reserved, and a little bit fearful to come out. And understandably so, are starting to come out. And so we had one today, Donna Owens. It was beautiful, but we have another one. So I'm really happy to be ending the day with Melina Ferguson. So I'm going to get her up here now and get to know her a little bit. Let's see. Wait. Unmute.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you, Todd?
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm nervous.
Are you nervous? It's okay. It's just a conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're just going to have a conversation, and you're welcome to ask questions too. And, like two people get to know each other. But it is a pleasure to meet you. I'm really excited because Morgan, she's the woman that I live with. She's always spoken very highly of you. And believe me, she doesn't hand out compliments very easy. You probably got more than I have over the years from her in regard to me. But I'm just playing around. But no, she's always spoken very highly.
Absolutely.
And I've known several people. And, once I put the post up, I got several more people. Oh my God, she's coming on. So yeah. I mean, you're what? And are you in Melbourne? Is that where you're at?
I'm Melbourne. Yes. I'm actually in the country.
Okay. You cut out a little bit.
The Maston Ranges.
But you cut out
now.
That sounds a little better.
I'm in the Maston Ranges outside of.
Okay. Oh, I'm trying to work on the signal from my own spot here. See, we'll see how it goes. Anytime we have problems, we always have a great show. I don't know why that is. So, God, I don't even know where to start with you. I mean, like, how long have you been publicly putting your information out?
Since 2011,
Yeah.
2010, 2011, I joined Facebook social media to get my workout that I originally started back in 2008,
Wow.
when I worked with seeds, vibrational seeds in the palmistry lines of my hands. I had an experience after reading a book that activated me.
Really?
And yes, and it was, we were living in the city in Melbourne, and I stumbled across a book called Anastasia, the Ringed Cedars of Russia. I'm not sure if you've heard of it before.
Well, no, but I know who they're referring to. They're referring to the Romanovs, right? And Anastasia was their daughter,
Yes.
right?
Well, no, she's a recluse in the Siberian taiga.
Oh, that old lady. Are you talking about the one that came
No,
out? Oh,
she's
wait, you just
actually,
keep going.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So she
don't ask me.
actually,
Yeah.
so there's this book that came out in, it was written early by a Russian man called Vladimir Mikia in 1997, and he went and into the Siberian taiga after hearing these ringing cedar trees that started vibrating. And he needed, so he met this lady, and he basically communed with her. She downloaded this information with him. He went back to Russia and wrote this book. At the time I got it, it was 2007. And we just bought a house, we renovated it. I read this book. I had a massive download at the time, and I'm like, I said to my husband, Ben, we need to move to the country, and we need to find acreage. Like I was set. I was like, we need to move to the country. We need to find acreage. I need to build my space of love. And I didn't even know what that was. I just knew that this force came through me, and I had to be and share it. And when we found the property, it needed a lot of work, and I was like, okay, this is the land. I'm not in love with the house, but this is the land, and I think we can work with it. And when I got here, she started channeling information through to me. This woman from this book started like I had a telepathic communication with her. And one day I sat out on the land and I closed my eyes, and I'm like, what do I do? And I went into a past life. It was as clear as day. And what I saw was I was somewhere, it felt like I was in Europe. I was going to a cottage in the forest, and I went down, and in a past life, she was there and she was teaching me, and I was about to write the information down that I need to learn from her. And all of a sudden, the vision that I saw was these men came in and both took us. So it felt like the era of the witching days, like you're doing something. And we were taken. So I never got to learn what I need to learn in that lifetime. So she showed me these visions, and she said, we're going to go back into that forest, and I'm going to teach you how to raise the vibration of seeds in the palmistry lines of your hands. And so I went deeper into the meditation, the vision, and I had my journal beside me, and I started writing down the information that I needed from the first seed. And from then on, it was amazing, because the first seed that she showed me was grandfather sage seed, and I put it in the palmistry lines of my hands, and I was shown to breathe, because the fingers represent different planets, and different movements. So I would be like this, and she said, breathe up the dragon breath and blow it into the seed. And then the information swirled and then went directly up into the universe and brought it back down into the seed. And it was like bang. And then
Wow.
the seed just was like poof. And so from then on, like, she was like, okay, that's the information. And anytime you put a medicinal seed in your hand, the information will come to you and you can start receiving. And so I started doing that. And then I would put the seeds into the earth and they wouldn't grow. And I'm like, well, I've got this vibrational seed. And she would be like, well, you know, when you have something at a high vibration and you put it into that lower vibration, it's not going to grow. So then she taught me how to raise the vibration of the earth with the vibration of the seed. And so they would all align. And then after that, I was shown how to create water essences for the moon cycles, for each moon cycle. So then I would drop those essences into the earth to raise the vibration. And then you have this beautiful sync with the earth. So
You were probably growing like mutant vegetables and stuff, like gigantic ones.
it was amazing. So she had, in the book, she talked about how to put the plants, vegetable and fruit seeds under your tongue to collect the DNA. And there was a process with that. And that was incredible. And then when you put it into the earth, then the fruit or the vegetable grows, and then it gives it back to you because it's collected your DNA, and it shifts and tells you what's going on in your body to heal. So there was that process from the book that I was like, but then she taught me that other process with medicinal seeds. So this whole creation with these seeds and the energy connected to the body, the hands, the universe, like it's all one. So that was a phenomenal experience of learning and growing with the earth. And
Well, I mean, the whole thing's phenomenal. So you you're going on through life, and then you pick up this book.
Yeah.
Which I thought you were talking about the other Anastasia, but so this guy writes a book. The lady's in Siberia, which is, and I know that Siberia, by the way, is like a hugely powerful area, like ancient, like the Mongols came out of there. A lot of really cool stuff. So you read this book, then she starts coming in, showing you this stuff.
And it's not just me. Like I've had many people that I pass the book on to, and they've had that connection with her.
Oh wow!
It's whole heart, you know, like of just connecting, and she
Isn't
showed me
that,
what I need to do.
I like to think about things, right? And it's always intrigued me, like, like for instance, like take someone that's better known, like Jesus, right? And I think, well, Jesus, was he just a man, and what about the propaganda and all that? And I think about the consciousness of, let's just say Jesus, or let's say Anastasia. So like that man tapped into it. He put it out there. Other people grab onto it, and it just kind of grows. I mean, this is a great example of that. So you pass the book on to others, and then they have the same experience.
Yeah, they have different experiences of how to work with nature.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah, because you look like a gypsy. No, well, that's really cool. That's really cool. I've not heard a story like that in 1,800 plus episodes. I've not heard somebody say that I can recall, but that's just like far out, man. So that was in 2008, 2009, 2010. So like, does she still connect with you, or was that just in the early days?
It was in the early days, and it's almost like, okay, she's on her way. You know what I mean? Like she's got this. It was just a drop of ancient wisdom and knowledge that I needed to awaken within myself. And I can, like, if I just think about it, I can, it's like, yep, she's like overseeing these different parts of,
so come together once, come together forever.
it's quite incredible. So yeah. And then from then on, it's just been, you know, step after step with, I guess, my water creations, like the dragon energy.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, even in 2008, I was introduced to the dragons.
Really?
Yes. And then when she, even with that seed, the breath, you know, that the first breath that awakens the seed was that energetic dragon's breath that we all have within us.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. So you're like, this is like pre-2012, and I know a lot of people had experiences, you know, long before 2012, but so you're like, now are you even like able to connect with anybody at this time, 2008, 2010, that's even in the same, you know, part of the realm that you're in?
Yes, like I was, different people came along in my path to awaken me, especially with the dragons. I had I remember a girl looked at me and she said, you have the eyes of the dragon. And I'm like, I didn't know what that meant. But when I was younger, early, just before my teenage years, my eyes changed color from blue to green. They kept the blue ring, but they went like a really emerald green. So it was like the green that represented the changing of the dragon energy. So I thought that was really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just sort of progressed from 2008 to a deeper connection that really came in 2015 when I created, and me and my partner Ben went into, did a sacred union for 7 months. And I was showing this dragon energy, the two golden dragons merging with the rainbow serpent snake through the chakras.
Oh, okay.
And that went around the earth as well. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So you're 2015. You have a partner, and the dragons, these twin dragons, come in and merge. These golden dragons.
Yeah, the golden dragons that they were like up. They reached sort of up the top, and then there was the ankh in the middle with the chakras aligning.
Wow.
So we went into 7 months, dived in from the underworld, from the autumn equinox past the spring and into Beltane here in the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
And from the lower chakras all the way up, but I saw them as dragons meeting, like at each chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 2015. And then it got sort of, and we went to Europe in 2015, and I collected soil from sacred sites around. And then when I came back to create this water essence, those sacred sites and that soil also merged with the dragon. So it's like bringing all the energetics back in.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, has what am I trying to say? Are the connections that you have, like, you know, that was 2015, now up through today, are they mostly organic and elemental and earthy, or do you get any type of action from like galactic or angelic or other type of essences?
They're mostly earthly. I mean, in the last probably 3 or 4 months, it's turned a little bit galactic.
Really?
I had an activation last year in October, and I was meditating and outside in nature, and I just, because everything that comes to me is within my heart space. I have to drop in here and receive the information. So it's always, it's like an elevator. You get out of the mind, you go down, I go down, I go down, and then I dive deep with the whales and the dolphins, and I go into my heart and come into the heart space. And it's, yeah, I went in and my hands were just, I was just sitting here like this. I had my eyes closed, and in a vision, my hands just lit up and turned into crystals, like crystal cities. And then I opened my eyes and my hands were actually blue, like they had a blue aura to them. And then, excuse me, and then the next day I went in, I did the same thing, and then my hands, the same thing, the crystal cities came through my hands, and then they turned this time into stargates. Like I had stargates activated. And I opened my eyes and I went, wow, this is something different. This is like the next level.
Yeah.
And then I was shown and told some information to work with some grid work around Australia to do with these stargates. And then I thought, okay, this is the next level. Seems like it's actually coming down now. So it's like, you know, the higher realms are coming in instead of, I've been very for a very long time, like working with the elements.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like, I guess our collective consciousness is raising in frequency, so maybe they're able to come in now. Whereas it would have been too. So yeah, this is fascinating. Now, have you done any videos or done anything like this before?
With like talking to anybody else?
Yeah, like just your own live video or just talking to somebody like this?
I've done my own videos with myself and light language and sound.
Okay.
But not, I haven't done an interview before. I've done, when I used to work with my seeds, I actually used to teach it in workshops. And I was on radio a couple of times and just had interviews with blog pages and that sort of thing.
No, I got you.
Again, you know, people were fascinated with seeds.
Yeah.
And that information. But
now, do you still live on that land today?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
Does it look like you know, like Neverland? Or like Eden?
Yeah. So when we got here, we built a large labyrinth, and it was and I didn't know at the time. It's kind of funny because I felt like I've done things and I've received information, but I've been ahead of my time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
You know, like I've done all this, but then it's for this time right now. Like we're all in. So I've got a massive Avalon Priestess labyrinth on my property. And in there I create my essences and I built this, like I've you know, Merlin came in, and because I work a lot with him as well, and it's a portal in there to all the ley lines around the earth.
Okay. So
I'm able to access and receive and get information from there as well. So
fascinating.
Like, yeah, you walk the labyrinth and you come in and you really come into the heart.
Yeah, that's wild. This is cool, man. This is the kind of stuff that needs to be out there. So Morgan told me that recently you did an essence for the 13th dragon. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like this whole thing with the dragons, I've been, you know, Morgan had a couple of dragons come in years ago before she met me, but mine started in October of 2018. But this 13th dragon, and we had so many things, I can't remember everything, but I remember the words master dragon. I remember, I mean, so much happened with that energy. What is, do you know what that energy is? What does it represent? What does it do?
I was told we went back to Europe last year, and that picture of the dragon was in a Scottish a beautiful garden that we were walking, you turn the corner and there's this elemental dragon out on the property from a tree, a turned over tree. We're like, whoa. And I was told to go collect soil from there. And then every other sacred site. So we went to Wales, Scotland, Glastonbury, and then into sacred sites in Spain. And in every location that I was guided to, I was to collect soil from the earth, because I had to bring it back and make this essence for the 13th dragon. And it's connected to, it was like ending of the 13,000 year cycle into the new Aquarian cycle, and bringing down the energies of the divine masculine, divine feminine, the real sacred union.
Right.
Merge into the self, the selves, and then the divine counterparts. And it was, and that was the energy that I had to bring through. And that was in June, July last year.
Of last year. And so where can we find that? Is it like on your page? You did a post on? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have it here. I have it here today. This is my bottle, and I wanted to share it so anyone that wants to tune in can just bring forth the energy.
Yeah.
As well.
I'm in. I'm already in the bottle.
Oh, you're in the bottle? So I'll just pop it up here like this.
Yeah.
And you just have to tune in basically and bring through the energies that you need to bring through on a personal level.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's very cool. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you. So, yeah, it's all happening.
Isn't it? I was going to ask you about that. So given all that, like, so you're 2008, 2009, 2010, and then of course you had the big supercharge in 2015. I mean, what's it like when this was happening to you in 2008, 9, and 10? Did you know about Ascension? Did you get any of that information, or did you start to find out about that stuff as you got involved with social media?
Yeah, I think because in 2008 I had my first child. We got 3 children, and so, and then I had my last daughter in 2011. So in between all that, there was, there's a whole, you're creating family, this family unit. So there's everything in life that just presents itself to you with, young children and also connecting to yourself. So I guess along the way, I've been in and out, just getting information. Like 2013 was Mary Magdalene, and Jesus came in and told me to create an essence for them with their energies as well. So it's been a wave and a ride of coming back into myself.
When you're making these essences like this, the stuff that Merlin works with you on, that stuff like that, does it feel familiar to you?
Yes.
Yeah. I would think so.
The water element is very, very strong within me. Like I could, just remember that in feels like Lemuria or Atlantis, just having those memories of working with water.
Yeah. And what's it like to look around now in 2020 and, and what's happened? I mean, I'm not talking about so much what's going on right now with the quarantine and all that, but like so many people awake. I mean, you were doing this when, there still wasn't a lot, there still wasn't, I mean, we talked to a lot of people on the show, and it really didn't start to get out there till 2012, 2013. And the communities were, the groups were formed, and, people were talking about it more. But, and what's it like for you to have gone through the last 12 years and here we are, and you're not the only crazy one now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I've been a lone wolf, it feels like, for a very long time. Even though, we're in the most beautiful space of love that I call now, it has felt quite lonely, but in order for me to create what I have brought through, like I've made so many essences, because everyone is an initiation, but it's been an initiation coming back in wholeness to myself.
Yes.
And I think that's been the biggest learning journey for me, which has been quite amazing. And now I feel like everything's coming back together, and you're getting the support, because I've done so much work on myself, that the people, the places, opportunities, resources, and all that are just falling into alignment now.
Yeah.
So for me, this time is, it's incredible. Like, I'm excited.
Me too, with this whole thing with that's going on, right? I mean, it's like, how could you plan it better? I mean, nobody saw it coming, but when you look at it, I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, like, everybody's has to be alone. They got to deal with people that they should have been dealing with. They got taken out of their routines. Material stuff is being, kept away, and and as well as being able to go down the street and, go to a restaurant or whatever. I mean, this is like perfect. It's interesting though watching it, because, and I feel strange talking to you about it, because you spend, obviously you spend a lot of time in the ethers, you know, like you're like, has it even phased you, this stuff that's gone on? Is it something that like comes into your field? Do you even think about it?
No, you know what? We're thriving here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my kids obviously miss their friends, but because we have so much space and we live in such a beautiful, love-filled, vibrational area,
Yeah.
feels it feels so nurturing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So,
feels so good.
yeah. How many acres do you have?
5.
That's good.
Yeah, and
That's,
we're around 5. Everyone, like the nearest neighbor, every neighbor is maybe 200 meters away.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like being able to walk around your property buck naked.
Yeah.
I told Morgan when I met her, it's like, I had this vision, and I don't know how to get there, but I know where we're going. And I see
Yeah.
this like 70 acres outside of Adelaide with 2 big dogs. And she's like, oh, well, you and the dogs can live there. Let's see. Uh, okay. So she missed that. Where, and you were cutting out in the beginning. Where, where are you around Melbourne? What's the name of that area?
Macedon. I'm in the Macedon Ranges.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about an hour outside of Melbourne.
She asked that. And I also wanted to say too, because I'll probably forget, because I tend to do that. Um, you've sent us a lot of people, and I just want to say, from both of us, thank you very much for that, because that's what it's all about. It's not necessarily about, the 3D measuring sticks and numbers, and it's people like you and like Don Owens that was on a while ago. I mean, these are the people that we need to be exposed to. You guys are carrying code. Now you have a partner, as well as 3 kids while you're doing this thing.
Yeah.
Now, is some people that I talk to, and of course, 99 times out of 100, it's a woman, because y'all are leading the way. Uh, but when I talk to them, if they have a partner, a lot of the times the partner's not in the community. They're just kind of doing it intuitively and naturally, or maybe through the woman. do you talk to your partner about all these things? That's a dumb
Yeah.
question. You probably do, don't you?
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
No?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Ben's an engineer, but on the other hand, he's very artistic,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have this, and he's very earthly. So when I'm up here,
Yeah.
but also down here, he completely grounds me, and we have this, and because we've done a lot of work together with like the sacred union stuff and connection.
Oh, you did. You did.
Recently taught me the merging of the Hero Gamos, how to start working with that, and which we have started. And our first experience a couple of weeks ago was when we placed our hands on each other.
Yeah.
The vision that I saw was these circles. And I've had this necklace since 2015, the Vesica Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
And the circles were wrapping around us, and then in the middle, the void bit was between us in my vision. And that's when the silver dragon came in. And then we both shared our information when we both got the circle energy. So,
did you talk to Morgan about this?
Yeah. I told her my experience.
Did she talk? Did you? Who taught you about the Helioscamus, the merging?
Morgan did.
Oh, she did. I was wondering. I was like, wow, that's weird. I mean, but so has your partner had any female orgasms yet? No, I'm kidding. I did. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I thought this is how it's going to be from now on.
Yeah.
It's amazing, this stuff. It's like
incredible.
I'm not been stuck the last couple of days, but I've been in this place where I'm like, there's something like right in front of your face, like it's so close it'll hit you, right? And I think what it is, after doing these shows today, now I'm talking to you, it's like all this stuff going on is like, like a fly on an elephant's ass. I mean, it's just like this little microbe of this whole thing that we're so close to tapping into. And one of those things is the soul merging and the sacred sexual vibration, because it's much different than what we thought sex was and stuff. But I'm like, there's just a whole bunch of stuff we're so close to.
Yeah.
Do you ever like blow his mind, like like I mean, I always kid around, like, being married to Morgan's like being, married to Samantha on Bewitched, when she twinkles her nose and stuff. Yeah. But like, I mean, she's morphed before, and there's just different things. And I guess I'm kind of used to it anyway. I don't know, but do you ever freak your partner out?
And he freaks me out too. Like,
does he?
Yeah, because he's very soft and gentle, yet he holds this incredible power inside that when he does speak, I'm just like, wow, where is that coming from? I remember when I went to Peru in 2017, the Peruvians teach that when you breathe, the breath comes up and enters the heart space, and before it actually speaks, it's almost like that authentic self. If there's nothing there, then nothing will come. Do you know what I mean? It's that, and that's how I feel. How Ben, he really carries himself. It's the words form in here, but if there's nothing, then it just will be.
Yeah. Well, that's he's an interesting mix too, because he's a engineer, which is very black and white. And then he's got that artistic. My son's he's studying architectural engineering. He's like about a year to go. And, but he's artistic. And I think, well, that's a pretty cool combination. So
it is.
Yeah, that says a lot about your partner, And then you have 3 kids.
Yep.
In the middle of all this, And that's got to be like, I mean, these kids that are coming in, they're like they got it, you know. I mean, it's, you know, all you got to do is be around them. It's like
Hmm.
aromatherapy on steroids. I mean, so have you picked up anything from them? Are they clued in? Do you talk about it? Do they surprise you sometimes? I mean,
Yeah, my daughter, Serafina, she has had amazing experiences. She's very elemental, very
mm,
open. She's full. I mean, when she was 7 months, when I was 7 months pregnant with her, she told me her name. She
oh
said,
wow,
"I am Serafina," and I had never heard of that name before. And yeah, and it was very, very clear that
wow,
that's what um, she was going to be. And she's she sees. She comes to me and she says, I just saw a girl in the corner of my eye, and do you think that's one of my future selves?
really?
Yeah, so she's very switched on, and then a couple of months ago, I got in a car. They were all in the car ready to go to school, and I got in, and she said, "It's really strange, Mum. I was I I just saw you get in and in the car, but then you just got in the car. So, she's obviously very quantum,
Wow.
and everything's speeding up right now. Like,
Yeah.
we get like I was saying to a friend, I am thinking about memories from 14, 15 years ago. Like, are just coming in. Like, I can't remember hardly my childhood, but I can remember these these drops of just
Yeah.
memories that are just coming in, and it's
And
amazing.
yeah. And so, and then like she brought up the future self too. That to me is like, I mean, the first time I ever heard anyone talk about the future self was Morgan. You know, it's like, go get call your future self up to work this problem out because he's already got it figured out. But so she referred to a future self. Was that because of conversations y'all have had, or is it just something that she came up with?
That was something she came up with.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. That's amazing. Yeah.
yeah. And then I've got my middle child. He's like sensitive. He's an empathic. He feels all the energy of everything. So he sees auras. He sees
Wow.
spirits. So I have to close him down a lot just because he feels everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, does he have any challenges with that? But I guess living where he lives with you, that probably alleviates a lot of it. Now, I would think that your property with your kids there, your engineer, artist husband, and you, that you got a 5 acres full of fairies and elves
Yep.
and other elementals.
We we were instructed to build a stone circle as well with
Mm,
5 stones in the form of a. It used to be our veggie patch down the back,
okay.
and it was in it was in a pentagram, and
Yeah.
I gridded it up many years ago, and it was the most amazing vegetable patch. And then we had it for a couple of years, and then one day the kangaroos came in and just trampled and destroyed it. So we had it dormant for a couple of years, and I think it was 2018. Yeah, I got the instruction to build a stone circle there. So we've got 3 monuments on our property: a stone circle, a labyrinth, and a octagon straw bale studio. And that's where we do all of our, like, we're going to run, like, I feel there will be like a retreat center here
Oh
one day
wow.
where people can come and charge up.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And how does Ben feel about that? Is he part of that? Or
Yes. So we have this incredible connection where I have the vision
yeah.
of what things look like, and I'm able to transfer that vision, and he can artistically create
Okay.
everything that I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That seems to be how these things work,
yeah,
for the most part. I know
yeah,
there's some bleed through, but I mean it seems like the feminine's like the receiver, you know,
yeah,
and then kind of paints the picture, and then he being the energetic masculine, or the masculine energy, goes out and creates it. you know,
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah.
Very
We
cool.
wanted to do workshops with couples as well on how to teach them to connect on that level.
Yeah.
You don't have to be, you don't have to know how to draw, but it's that connection between those two people and how
Yeah.
to receive what the other can
Yeah.
create. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe it's, you're making me think about things I hadn't thought about in a long time. But I remember when I met Morgan, because I was connected, I was doing my own thing. And then I met her, and right away, I mean, boom, we're under the pyramids doing some kind of moving some sacred geometry around or something. But it was almost like I'm looking through her eyes. It was weird. And I never doubted it. I just went with it, Hey, we're going to Venus today. I'm like, all right, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
and then I got to ask you this one too. Okay. Do you ever get like, you got to do something? I know you do, but like, when you get something pulled in, you got to go do something. You got to go build that rock circle. You got to build the labyrinth. Eh, do you ever get anything like that where it involves Ben? Like we have to do a ceremony, we have to do a ritual, that type of thing?
Yes. Yeah. When we created the labyrinth, we needed to walk the labyrinth together, meet in the middle, and then do our own sacred union ceremony. Not like how we got married in, normal marriage, but
Mm-hmm.
it was the hand tying and our own deep heart words to each other, like to really anchor the energy on the land. Yeah.
So he's full blown too.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
full blown.
And we've done that in so we went to the stone circle. All of us, me, the kids, Ben, we picked our stone, we stood there and we anchored in that energy. So we're like, we are the star family.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went, then when we had the studio built, we all stood in there and we were like, we anchored in that energy. And even when we went to Glastonbury, we all walked up there and we stood on the tour and there was nobody there and we all anchored in that energy. So we've always done, even though we've got children, we know their souls are part of the mission as well.
Absolutely.
So we're like, okay, we're all
they're probably leading the mission.
Yeah.
These kids are probably leading the mission. So you're injecting. It's a lot like the thing with the seed and the DNA. I mean, you're putting and that's really how we got to think. I think with this, so it's so interesting watching everything go on the last few weeks because we can say we're not giving our power away, but if you're just thinking about it, and and it's taking your focus, you're doing the opposite. Well, you're doing the same. You're seeding something, but it's not what you want to seed. It's not like the seed in the mouth thing, like the what you guys do at these sacred sites and on your property, which is you're implanting a pure love consciousness into the field that will remain.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I wonder how does Ben feel about being in front of a camera?
Morgan asked us a month ago, and he was like, yeah. So
well,
give him time.
Okay. Well, I knew that. I kind of knew that anyway, but I just had to ask. But you know how it goes in these relationships. Whatever she puts out there, that he's going to end up agreeing to anyway. So, in a good way. And I think that's part of what's happening here. You were talking about the two of you a while ago, and I can't remember what you were saying, but it popped in my head. I said, "Oh, I gotta ask her about this." But it's like the collective masculine energetically, and all the little copies of him. I'm one of them. Has to ultimately get to this point of total surrender. And I know this it doesn't quite sound right if you're just looking at it from a human perspective only, but has to pretty much surrender to her. you know, to her place, to what she is. And to me, that's a big deal, because I know I've done it, and I've done it over a long, seemed like a couple of years or even more. And every time that masculine in me surrenders to her, and her can be Mother Goddess, Mother Mary, Morgan. I mean, it there's a huge elevation.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be cool. And
Kind
when
of reminds me, sorry.
mhm. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of the goddess energy, like the
Yeah.
goddess of the land merging with her energy, and working in union
Yeah.
with the kings and the queens, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like when you come together and then the goddess works through you and the elementals
Yeah.
in here. Yes, it's like nature rejoices when the goddess is in her element, and then that king energy really steps up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's and it's like, but because of the situation that we're coming out of, and I mean, I'm just talking about the last few thousand years, the patriarchal system, and the feminine suppression, and much worse than that. um it's like that. In order for that balance to come in, I mean, that's the only thing lacking, but it's like that feminine energy that you're talking about, like the mother nature, like that power. She has to step into her power,
Mm-hmm.
before he can reach his potential, basically.
Yeah.
you know it's kind of like the cycle of creation, birth. Yeah. Yeah, you're cool. So yeah, do you guys have retreats at your property, or do you have like things now? Anything?
So we were all set up to go
Uh, yeah.
before our reset.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we walked the land a couple of days ago, and we're like, we saw this incredible water feature, um, and it's almost like the water was coming up from the earth, and it was
Mm,
like this vast temple, and where people would come and rejuvenate within the water element. So
yeah.
there's things that are dropping in, going, because last year we were like, we're being called overseas. So we were like, it's almost like we felt we had to be pulled out of this area and then come back in,
Yeah.
reset. But it's like there's a reassignment that's happened, and it's like now we're giving you information to build more upon what you're doing on the land now.
Well, that's powerful. That's
Yeah.
powerful, because there's more than just one person involved, and actually
Mm-hmm.
there's five, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
plus we're only talking the physical team here, but so what is your how about, like, a lot of the people, a lot of the light workers have had estrangements from their family, certainly judgment. Some people have interventions and they try to put you in the psych ward. And but so you have been there since 2008. You've built this stuff on there. You've created this lifestyle. And how have I mean, how does your extended family react to that? Or do they get it, or do they, are you kind of the on the outside looking in?
Yeah, on the outside looking in. All my
Mhm.
family is interstate.
Okay.
So I moved here in 2000 into Melbourne in
Mm.
2003 when I met Ben. So my wake up was 9/11.
Really?
Yeah, that was my big shake up wake up, and
Wow.
yeah, and and then everything led me to this place right here. So yeah, I'm not. I love my family, and yeah, I communicate with them on phone,
Yeah.
but it's just it's a different level. We're on different levels.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're a lot
So
nicer about it than I am. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Which, you know, we
yeah,
can't even do that anymore. We can't even be sarcastic anymore.
yeah,
It's like really got to be careful what we put out there. But no, I get what you're saying. It just, you know, for some of us,
yeah.
it was a little bit rough there. They threw some big
Yeah.
boulders at us.
Oh goodness, like I've gone deep. Like, you know, yeah, like I grew up in a very dysfunctional family, one of
Hmm.
four, and you know, when I was in Peru, I had this incredible, you know, as you do, experience
Yeah.
of a big. I realized that, you know, my parents chose to come in at that time. It couldn't have been easy for them. They chose
No.
to be these particular people
Hmm.
for me, for my awakening. And, you know, and even seeing my mum as Kuan Yin, like, and, you know, when you drop down, you go, wow, like different aspects of that energy, like to really show me the compassion and the love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been incredible. Like, yeah, when
That's a
you
good
see
point,
everybody.
though. Yeah. That's a good point, too. I mean, I mean, it's always the ones closest to us, you know, your parents, your ex spouses, you know, your old friends. You know, they're the ones that trigger you the most. You love the most. You hate the most. When we used to hate, if we did, I never really hated, but I'm just saying, like, but you're right. I mean, they're just as divine as we are,
Yeah.
and who knows? In an alternate timeline, you know, I'm the one that's asleep, and they might be Gandhi and Jesus. I don't know. I mean, but you're right. They're just as divine as we are, and and they did come in at a time when there was more conditioning intact. You know, there was more sheeple or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's not a cut down. It's just like that's the way it was. I mean, you know, TV was huge. You
Yep.
know, TV came out in the 60s, and that was programming and from the get-go. And
Mm-hmm.
God, you know, how many years did it take to extract from that? You know, so that's yeah, they did come in at a tough time, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So are
yeah.
you I have to ask you this before we get out of here. Let me see.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we have a little time. So I just got to know what is the most profound dimensional experience or whatever divine episode that you've ever had? Because I know you probably had many. Is there anything that kind of stands out?
Gosh.
Did anything ever scare you?
So, this is kind of funny. So, last year in March, I was I practiced this meditation to raise my Kundalini
Uh-huh.
energy, and I was sitting there, and I'd been doing it like every day, and I was sitting there, and then my whole spine was like on fire. And then this massive swoosh of energy came into the back of my neck,
Wow.
and I opened my eyes, and it scared, like the force of the energy scared me, and
Wow.
yeah, and it was incredible, and I think that's where I actually stopped my energy flow. And I still have that energy up and down, but the
Hmm.
full, like, I'm sure the full activation would have happened, but the force of the energy, like, you know, it was this whoosh
Yeah.
like that. And yeah, that's probably the only thing that's actually scared me.
That's
Um,
trippy.
yeah, yeah, it is trippy, but yeah, apart from that, like I, yeah, everything that has been really profound is just always going
Yeah.
into my heart space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
it's, yeah. I
yeah,
think
that's
about it
the
too.
only way,
And, huh?
as I say, that's the only way in.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. I know it sounds so corny too, right? Like, but I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, there's no other way. It's the only doorway there is there.
The
Um,
past got so many chambers and so
yeah,
many doorways. Like
yeah,
the places that I have been, thrusted forth into worlds I could never have imagined.
yeah.
Like it's an incredible journey into creation.
Yes, it is, and it's crazy too because like with what you're talking about, and I look at my own situation, especially when 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 years ago, or even the stuff with Morgan. It's like I sometimes I don't do it so much anymore, but I don't know if you did, but you get to those points where you're like, man, get me the hell out of here. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. And you forget how profound all these experiences that you've had. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not like playtime. That's not like a coincidence. It's not like a fantasy. This is some real stuff happening. And now it's really starting to take root. So I think this is going to be an absolutely extraordinary year. And I don't think we've seen anything yet, but I do think this next month is going to be huge.
Oh,
Uh, did
yeah.
did you want to? Is there anything that you would like to do before we head out? Like if you wanted to do a light language or anything like that, or you wanted to say anything, or let people know about anything you might have going on or anything like that.
Firstly, I just want to say thank you for having me on.
Mhm.
It's an absolute pleasure. I mean, I saw this in my vision last year, but to even, yeah, so I just want to say thank you for having me here. And
Thank you for coming.
speak, yeah, maybe some light language. Oh, can I just read something to you?
Yes, whatever you want to do,
This
that's fine.
is the feminine. This was given to me as an affirmation poem from Mary Magdalene, and I just wanted to share
Wow.
um, the words because it's very empowering and I just love them. So I'm just going to share them now. I am woman. My feelings are valid. I have strong and powerful intuition. I have strong and powerful knowing. This knowing and power comes through my spiritual heritage. I carry a strong and sacred, powerful voice within me that is knowing and intuitive and connected to the source of all life. I am mother, I am daughter, I am woman. I am a sacred vessel upon which God has sent his light and blessings. I am a sacred woman. I am divine. I am love. I know who I am and how I am feeling and what I need by connecting within. I now carry on the path of my spiritual heritage. The path of my spiritual heritage is now cleared. I am connected to Mary Magdalene. I carry on this lineage through me. I am strong. I am powerful. I know.
Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's for all the women out there.
Yeah. Well, that's for everybody. Mary
Yeah.
Magdalene's very special to me. She always has been since I
Um,
woke up. That was
yes.
powerful. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing that. No doubt. So yeah, we'd love to collaborate with you, again if
Yeah.
you're up.
Maybe next time I can do some of my hand stuff.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah. If you, I could just say a couple of light language words.
Yeah, you can do some now if you want to.
Okay. Eliite ele onono moko le kia satara e shete turu o mokoea. Ale fia manana karea te e kia le e pōnana mokoe. A fiele e fiatara ashana mea kole fiatara aria kia. La hiatara a moko sia te shete te kuru o moko swa. Le fiatare e kia manana kasuayatre. Ye pokoro o shunana moko e alia fiatara aria mea kia. Le e te ashiatara o mukusua ia tere piatara o shunono. Le fiatara amia e kia la le te shite o yomoko fiatara e kia ate e kia la ana ni moko sata. Le fiatara ashunono mo ia te te e kia la ataria tata ai e kia. Ye te e kia la tara o shunono mo ia pa e kore e fiatara e kia tatara e kia la e te i ia tatatani o nono moko. Ia te e fia ale pioto. Thank you.
Thank you. Does your husband like when you do light language?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
My kids speak it.
Huh? What's
My
that?
kids speak it.
They do?
Yeah. We just have this light language party.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine doing that with my kids. When Morgan does it, it's like an aphrodisiac to me. I like, you better stop doing that. You're gonna have to stop doing that. I can't be responsible for my actions if you keep doing that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that was a beautiful expression. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and thank you for coming in and honoring us with your
me.
presence and sharing with us. And I hope we get to do it again. You know, I think the world needs to see energy like yours. So until then, all blessings to you and yours and your beautiful little paradise over there with all your elemental friends and your family.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
See
You take
ya.
care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.